Kingdoms and castles. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Kingdoms and Castles is a game about growing a kingdom from a tiny hamlet to a sprawling city and imposing castle. Your kingdom must survive a living and dangerous world. Do the Viking raiders make off with your villages, or are they stopped, full of arrows, at the castle gates? Does a dragon torch your granary, your people dying of starvation in the winter, or are you able to turn the beast back? The success of your kingdom depends solely on your skill as a city and castle planner, because the townfolk are f***ing stupid. Doesn't actually say that bit at the end. Yes, guys, it's another city building game, a medieval city building game, like Banished. It's one of them, guys, where you start off with nothing. In this game, you start off with a keep, and then you build it up into a big, sprawling city, all self-sufficient and able to defend itself against dragons, Viking attacks, and the random fire god that can burn stone. Yeah. The good thing about this game is it's $6.99, which is pretty cheap for a city building game. The bad thing about this is it's just not very good. There is a post from the developer saying that he's going to add a lot more stuff and that this is kind of only the beginning. Well, that's good because there's a lot of stuff needs adding to this. And the first thing that's coming is ports and merchants. But before that comes, I think he needs to fix a lot of the shit that's going on with this. So, yes, it all looks nice, it's nice and cute, everything's kind of square and blocky, but you know, it's not a AAA game, it's a game that costs $6.99. So, you know, you can play this on 3 difficulty levels. Easy, where there's literally no enemies whatsoever, it's all nice. Then there's the next level up, which allows you to get attacked by dragons, Vikings, and have random things like plagues and fires break out. And then there's super duper hard, where it just increases the frequency of that and makes your population a bit more unhappy, and you can lose the game for them being unhappy. Happiness is key. You've got to keep your residents happy, or your peasants as they're called in this. And you can do that by a lot of different ways, namely keeping them fed. The only problem is they kind of don't want to be fed. You see, what you do in this game, you build your keep, you build your forest to chop down the trees, you build your farmers, you build your granary to store the food in, you build your little houses and hovels for your population to live, and obviously if you have empty houses, more people will come. Build it and they will come. The problem is, guys, the seasons move so fast. When your farmers is ready to cut all the crops and gather the crops in, they take them to a granary. Now, they have like 5 seconds to do that. Guys, I'm not talking shitty. It's about 5 or 6 seconds to get all the crops into a granary before winter destroys them. And it will destroy them in like 5 or 6 seconds. And then you'll just see lots of crops getting destroyed, even though you've grown all these lovely crops, and then you'll get no food. And so it'll say, your villagers are starving. But I grew... Why are they starving when I grew all them crops? Why can't they just get the crops and put them in the granary? Why can't they do that? Because they're fucking stupid, guys, that's why. It's a ridiculous mechanic in this game, along with many other ridiculous mechanics in this game. So let's talk the ridiculous, and then we'll talk about the good. Fire will burn stone in this game. Fire has just a total RNG. Anything you put down, from a road to a concrete block to a fucking stone statue, has a random chance of just spontaneously catching fire for no reason whatsoever. I mean, that is stupid. Fair enough, your charcoal hut has a high probability of catching fire due to the nature of what it is. Your blacksmith, he's playing with fire. Your farm, yeah, I suppose if someone threw a fag end into it, that would go up, you know, but a stone statue? A stone wall? No, but they do. The other big problem with this game, and it's a problem that I have with everything since the Settlers, is there just is no real way of managing your populace. For example, you can't prioritise a build. You can't say, hey look, I've got 3 builds going on, but I want you to build that one first. And another big problem is the combat with this game. I mean, you get attacked by Vikings and you can create your own hero and you can recruit a little bit of an army for them. But how do you fight? All I do is I run my knight into the enemy Vikings, and it's like 50-50 whether he'll actually engage with them or the Vikings just run past him and he runs past them. It's comical. It's so bad. There's no sense that you're engaging anybody. You can't actually tell them to attack anybody. You've just got to try and move them into the path of the Vikings and hope it attacks them when the Vikings come past. And to be honest, once you get a wall around your city with a few trebuchets and archer towers, the Vikings are screwed. Even with the giant ogres that smash the walls down, the Vikings are only really a threat in the first, I would say, the first couple of hours of the game. After that, you've pretty much got them. Same with the dragons. The dragons are a threat early on, but once you've got a few trebuchets and archery towers up randomly around your town and in your town, again, they're no longer a threat. It's just the fire and the plague. But even the hospital, you build a hospital and the plague doesn't come back. And so you end up with this city, town that you've built, and nothing can harm it anymore. It just sits there, and that's it. You've done it all. There's not enough buildings. There's not enough depth to this. I mean, I'm a huge Settlers fan, and that, goodness, when was that? That was in the late 80s and the 90s, the Settlers, and nothing can touch that game that I've played anyway. Nothing can touch that for the sheer depth, prospecting the hills, finding all the different types of ore, putting on a mine there. I mean, even the food chain in Settlers, you know, sowing the different types of seeds in the fields, making a pig farm, having a slaughterhouse, having a butcher, having a windmill that makes the corn into the grain, then having a baker, and then a well to get the water and the flour together to make bread. You know, again, we're coming back to the price. This isn't a AAA game, it's just $6.99. So you'd expect that, but the problem is it's just not good enough in my eyes. It needs a lot more work. It's alright. I mean, I've had fun in it, and, you know, you kind of look at the price and think, well, have I had that much fun? I probably have. I mean, yeah, it's just got no real replayability. It's just not quite good enough. It needs a lot of work. I'm going to thumb it down. It's a disappointment again. I love this genre of game. This just doesn't have the challenge there. It's too easy, and it's too basic, and it's too shallow. And that's the problem, and the mechanics need fixing really quick.